About Afghanistan performance, Afghanistan did play against India and they played quite a tough game. What do you think about that match on that day?
Well, I think what I've noticed about Afghanistan, I've been a big admirer of the way they have progressed and they've come through the ranks. They deserve their place to be in this group because this is the top 10. They also were up there when the qualifying tournament was on. They beat test teams and they qualified, so they absolutely deserve to be in this tournament. What I found is that because a lot of the Afghanistan players play a lot of T20 cricket, their bowling is tuned to T20 as well as 50 overs. Their batting needs to think a little bit of a 50 overs game, not a 20 overs game. So what happens with the batting is that they're looking that if they play two balls where there is no run, they try to hit the third ball, which you need to do in 20 overs game, but not in a 50 overs game. In a 50 overs game, you have the time to play around, build your innings. And there was that partnership that was going on when look at the way an Indian batting lineup, they restricted it to 224. So you know that their bowling is capable of bowling even in the 50 overs format. It's just that the batting needs to show a little more patience. And once that happens, then I think they will start not just troubling teams, they'll start beating them as well.
So do you think it might be more because of the experience? They haven't been able to play much with bigger teams and bigger countries?
Yes, exactly. The more you play, the greater experience that you get. And see the progress that they've made in T20. In T20, Afghanistan is a real threat. They can beat any team. Every team knows that in T20, Afghanistan, nobody takes Afghanistan lightly in T20. In 50 overs, most of the other teams, the experienced teams, know that they can pressurize Afghanistan, particularly the Afghanistan batting. Not so much their bowling, but their batting. So I think it's the batting that needs to, look at itself. Maybe have a situation where they play a lot more 50 overs cricket before a tournament like this. Make sure that they have at least a dozen matches. It could be with say for example an India A team or even a Pakistan A team, which will give them very good competition, which will give their batsmen the opportunity to play long innings, to play 40 overs and score lots of runs.
You mentioned Pakistan. We also played a quite tough game against them, but it was the last minute or the last 5 overs. As somebody who is so experienced in cricket, what do you think really went wrong when we were playing Pakistan?
I think it was perhaps the lack of experience at that stage again. Also, I think one of your bowlers was injured, and that meant that when one of your top bowlers gets injured, suddenly the number of overs that are left in his quota have to be bowled by somebody else. And so in that calculation, maybe your skipper didn't quite get it right. Your skipper, of course, is captaining for the first time. There was another skipper before the World Cup. So clearly he's not as experienced, and therefore I think he might have not calculated, with who should be bowling those last 4 or 5 overs. Because I wasn't there at the match, so I didn't see it. But I watched the highlights of the match, and you could see that you had the match in control till the 45th over of the Pakistan batting. It's from the 46th over that the match sort of went out of your hands. So I think those 4 or 5 overs towards the end, if you had your regular bowler bowling, then it could have been a victory for Afghanistan.
So you reckon it's because of the inexperiences of our captain that may have actually caused all this damage?
Yes, I think so. But also you got to give credit to Pakistan's batsman Imad Wasim, who batted really well. And he sensed the fact that, that there were occasions, there were these 1 or 2 overs which he had to score off. And he did that. Sometimes, this kind of batting comes out, sometimes it fails. And then the captain looks great. So this is what cricket is all about. Captains take decisions, obviously for the best of the team, but sometimes those decisions can go wrong, and then of course the captain looks, oh, what did I do? And people start saying, oh, what did the captain do? But we are all experts off the field. On the field the pressures are completely different.
As you're talking about the captaincy now, when is the best time to have a change in the captaincy? Do you think it is a good idea to change them at just before such a big major events like World Cup? Ideally
not. Ideally you want your captain, unless the captain who's replacing has also got captaincy experience internationally. So if he's not got the experience, then clearly I think you're going to be handicapped by the fact that it's somebody in a world event, that you've got somebody who's not experienced captaining the team. So you're looking to, if you're going to make a change, You want to make a change before a world event, where the captain also can get his bearings, where the other players around him also understand. See, every captain has a different approach sometimes, so the players tend to understand, and then they also adjust their game according to what the captain's ideas are.
And also, what do you think about Ikram Ali Khail, who managed to break the record of Sir Sachin?
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure he's going to remember that forever, because I mean, not too many people can break Sachin's record. Our Virat Kohli is close to breaking that record of one-day centuries. He's still got, I think, about 8 centuries to go to. But yes, I think this is something that he'll cherish, and this is, I think, something where the rest of the young Afghanistan players should be taking a leaf off. Okay, look. If one man at the beginning of his career can break a record, the others can come in and also set and break records of their own.
And also, if you go back into the captaincy, what qualities really a player needs to have to become a captain of a big team, like of your national team?
Well, first and foremost, I believe that a captain has to be certainty in the team. His place has to be certain. It should not be that somebody should say, okay, look, he's there only because he's a captain. He has to be worth his place as a batsman or as a bowler or as an all-rounder. He's got to be worth his place in the team as that. And if he's worth his place in the team, then nobody's going to question why he's in the team. Then once he's there, I think he needs to set an example. So supposing he's going to ask you, I want you to stand in this position, or I want you to do this kind of thing, he should be able to do it himself. So it's not that captain should not be saying do what I say. It should be do what I do. And when the captain shows by example, then the others follow. And thirdly, I think he should also be able to put his neck on the line for his team.
I mean, did you have the feeling that our captain had these moments where he wasn't really sure what he was doing?
I think the Pakistan match was probably the best example. In the last 5 overs, he looked as if just a little bit inexperienced over at that stage. But otherwise, I think it's been very good. It's just that like I said, the captain a captain is, at the end of the day, is only as good as his team. This Afghanistan team is inexperienced, but what they've shown is a willingness to fight right till the end. They have not given up at any stage. They've fought with India towards the end. They gave India a real scare. They gave Pakistan a scare, and against Sri Lanka, of course, I think the match got washed out. But this is it. This is important. They've run more experienced teams very close, and that is something that should be a big plus.
I mean, most of our players, and if you had a choice to say, okay, this is somebody who has to be the captain of Afghanistan, who would you choose from our players?
Well, that's I think you've already had Mohammad Nabi, you've had Asghar Afghan. I don't know whether Rashid would be interested in the captaincy, but Rashid is somebody who's well respected all around the world for his cricket, not just for his bowling, with his batting. Look at the way he's won matches with the bat in the IPL. Even at the Big Bash, he scores with the bat coming down the order 8-9. So he's somebody who looks like the complete player. And I do believe that, and please don't misunderstand me, I do believe that somebody like Rashid, if you give him the responsibility, I think he'll become an even better player.
And also, do you think that Afghanistan and T20 World Cup in Australia would be able to play much, much better than what they did in this World Cup?
Definitely. I won't be surprised if Afghanistan beat more than a couple of teams in that T20 tournament.
And any final say to our audience who are watching you right now?
I just want to say to the people of Afghanistan, you should be very proud of your boys. Your boys have done well. They might not have won a match, but that's because of inexperience. Believe you me, when it comes to the next World Cup, your team will be one of the front runners for the title.
Thank you very much, Shukriya, and thank you for all of you watching us.